Imagine waking up one day, your chest tight, as if the air itself is pressing against you, a vague ache you can't name. The world outside hums, cars rush, screens glow, notifications ping. But inside, there's a silence so vast it swallows every sound. You scroll through feeds, consume endless streams of lives that seem fuller, brighter, yet your own feels like a shadow, slipping through your fingers. What is this? You've checked all the boxes, job, friends, goals, yet something gnaws at you, a hunger no achievement can sate. You're not alone in this. Millions feel it, a quiet epidemic cloaked in noise. But why? Why does a world so full of possibility leave you so empty? Step outside and the paradox sharpens. Skyscrapers pierce the sky, symbols of progress, yet the faces around you are drawn, eyes glazed, chasing something they can't define. Society screams, "You can be anything," but the louder it shouts, the less you feel like anyone. Freedom, they call it. Endless choices, infinite paths. Yet each decision feels like a trap, a step further from some truth you can't grasp. Is this what freedom was meant to be? A labyrinth with no center? The more you have, the less it means. The faster you run, the farther you feel from home. How did we get here? When did the world start promising everything and delivering nothing? Consider the absurdity. You're connected to billions, yet lonelier than ever. Your phone buzzes, a portal to every voice, every idea, yet the conversations feel hollow, like echoes in an empty hall. You're told to optimize, to hustle, to curate your life into a perfect frame. But for whom? For what? The metrics pile up, likes, followers, milestones, but they don't fill the void. They amplify it. You're drowning in abundance, choking on excess, yet starving for meaning. Isn't that strange? The more you gain, the more you lose. The more you know, the less you understand. This isn't just about you. Look around. The barista pouring your coffee, the executive in the corner, the influencer smiling online. They're all caught in the same current, pulled by a force they can't see. Society has built a machine so vast, so intricate, it's outrun its own purpose. We're all cogs now, spinning in place, mistaking motion for progress. But what if the machine is broken? What if the emptiness you feel isn't a flaw in you, but a signal from something deeper? What if this ache is your soul screaming for something we've all forgotten? Pause for a moment. Feel that weight in your chest again. It's not just stress, not just fatigue. It's a question, ancient and urgent, clawing its way to the surface. What are you living for? Not the job, not the status, not the next fleeting high, but truly, at your core, what? You might fumble for an answer, and that's the point. The world has buried that question under layers of distraction, obligation, noise. Yet it lingers, relentless, because it's the only question that matters. And here's the kicker. The harder you try to ignore it, the louder it gets, until it's all you can hear. This is the great paradox of our time. A world designed to fulfill you is leaving you hollow. A society obsessed with progress is breeding despair. Why? What's driving this silent unraveling? It's not just technology, not just culture, not just you. It's something deeper, a crack in the foundation of how we live, how we think, how we dream. To understand it, we need to peel back the layers, to see what's really at work beneath the surface. The truth is closer than you think, but it's not what you expect. Are you ready to look? You're still here, carrying that ache, that question pulsing in your chest. What's it all for? You've felt it before, haven't you? In the quiet moments when the world's noise fades, and you're left with yourself. It's not depression, not quite anxiety. It's something else, a deeper void, a sense that life's script has no meaning. This isn't just your mind playing tricks. This is modern society's hidden wound, a psychological and philosophical unraveling rooted in the very systems we've built. Let's dig into why this emptiness festers and what's feeding it. Start with the world you inhabit. It's a marvel, isn't it? A machine of endless productivity, information, opportunity. But beneath the sheen lies a trap. Philosophers like Nietzsche saw it coming. He warned of a world where God is dead, not just in a religious sense, but in the collapse of shared meaning. Without a unifying purpose, he said, we'd drift into nihilism, chasing shadows of value in a void. Look around. His prophecy haunts us, in the way we fetishize success, yet feel nothing when we grasp it. In the way we hoard connections, yet starve for intimacy. Nietzsche's ghost whispers, "You're free." But free for what? Psychologically, this void has roots in how we're wired. Carl Jung, the great explorer of the psyche, argued that humans crave a myth, a story that gives life coherence. Without it, we fracture, our instincts at war with our reality. Modern society offers no myth, only fragments. Consumerism, status, self-optimization. These are hollow gods. They promise salvation but deliver addiction. Dopamine hits from likes, purchases, achievements. They keep you hooked, but never satisfied. Neuroscientists back this up. Your brain's reward system is hijacked, wired for craving, not fulfillment, leaving you chasing a high that never lasts. Now consider society's role. It's no accident you feel this way. The systems around you, capitalism, technology, culture, are designed to keep you moving, not questioning. Philosopher Byung-Chul Han calls this the achievement society, where you're not just free but obligated to be everything, successful, happy, perfect. The catch? There's no finish line. Every goal spawns another. Every choice breeds doubt. You're told to live your truth, but the world drowns you in options, each one a mirror reflecting your inadequacy. This isn't freedom. It's a cage disguised as a playground, and it's exhausting. Let's go deeper. Existentialist Jean-Paul Sartre spoke of bad faith, the lie we tell ourselves to avoid the terror of freedom. You feel that terror, don't you? The weight of crafting your own meaning in a world that offers no blueprint. So you outsource it to careers, trends, algorithms. You let them define you because facing the void is too much. But the void doesn't vanish. It grows. It's in the panic of a wasted day, the dread of a life half-lived, the fear that you're not enough. Sartre would say, you're dodging your own power, and it's killing you. This emptiness isn't just personal, it's cultural. Sociologist Emile Durkheim coined anomie, a state where society's norms dissolve, leaving individuals unmoored. Today's anomie is digital, global, relentless. Old anchors, community, tradition, faith, have eroded, replaced by a hyper-individualism that glorifies you while isolating you. You're told to be unique, but the world rewards conformity. You're urged to connect, but screens mediate your relationships. The result? A collective loneliness, a shared drift, where everyone's performing, but no one's truly seen. Here's the kicker. This isn't random. The systems profit from your emptiness. Consumerism thrives on your dissatisfaction. Buy more, be more. Tech giants feed on your attention, turning your search for meaning into data. Even self-help gurus sell you fixes for a wound they deepen. It's a cycle, and you're caught in it, running faster, feeling less, wondering why the finish line keeps moving. But what if the problem isn't you? What if this ache is a signal, a call to see through the illusion? The tension is building now. You can feel it. The weight of a truth you're circling, but haven't grasped. This emptiness isn't just a feeling. It's a force, shaping how you think, how you live, how you lose yourself. Its consequences are vast, silent, creeping into every corner of your world. What happens when a society runs on this void? What does it do to your mind, your soul, your future? The answers are closer than you think, and they're not what you expect. You're starting to see it now, aren't you? That ache in your chest, that gnawing void. It's not just yours. It's woven into the fabric of the world around you. A silent force, shaping lives, warping realities. You've felt its pull. The way days blur into routines, the way dreams dissolve into distractions. But what happens when this emptiness isn't just a feeling but a current, dragging you and everyone else toward a breaking point? Let's peel back the curtain. The consequences of this modern malaise are vast, insidious, and they're reshaping you in ways you barely notice. First, look at your mind. Your brain is a marvel, built to seek patterns, meaning, connection. But modern society overloads it, floods it with noise. Cognitive science reveals how this works. Your attention is fractured by endless stimuli, notifications, ads, trends, triggering a state called cognitive overload. You're not just distracted, you're rewired. Neurologists warn that chronic overstimulation dulls your prefrontal cortex, the part that governs reflection, choice, purpose. You're not choosing your thoughts anymore. They're being chosen for you. Ever wonder why you feel scattered? Why focus feels like a lost art? This is why. Your mind is drowning, and it's taking your sense of self with it. Then there's the bias that keeps you trapped. Psychologists call it the hedonic treadmill. You chase happiness, new job, new gadget, new goal, but each high fades, leaving you right where you started. Only now you're more restless, more dissatisfied. Society fuels this cycle, selling you the lie that more will fill the void. It doesn't. Studies show that beyond basic needs, wealth, status, even success barely budge your baseline happiness. Yet you keep running, conditioned to believe the next hit will save you, until you're too tired to question why you're running at all. Now zoom out to society itself. This emptiness doesn't just haunt individuals, it corrodes the collective. Sociologists point to rising rates of loneliness, even in hyper-connected cities. The data is stark. Over 30% of adults in developed nations report chronic loneliness, despite being plugged in 24/7. Why? Because connection isn't community. You're surrounded by avatars, not souls. Cultural conditioning plays its part too. Individualism glorifies the self but strips away the tribe. You're taught to stand alone, to compete, to curate a perfect you. But humans aren't built for isolation. Your brain craves belonging, and without it, you wither. The result? A society of strangers, each one aching, each one hiding it. The consequences deepen. This void fuels a crisis of identity. Philosopher Charles Taylor warned of a malaise of modernity, where the self becomes a project, not a truth. You're not born knowing who you are. You're told to invent it. Sounds empowering, right? But it's a trap. Every choice, what to wear, what to believe, what to become, becomes a performance, judged by invisible eyes. Social media amplifies this, turning your life into a stage. Studies show that heavy social media use correlates with anxiety, self-doubt, even depression. You're not living for you anymore. You're living for the algorithm, the crowd, the likes. And deep down, you know it's hollow. Here's where it gets urgent. This emptiness doesn't just shape your present, it steals your future. When meaning erodes, so does hope. Look at the numbers. Mental health crises are skyrocketing, with global rates of anxiety and depression up 25% in the last decade. Young people especially feel it. Raised in a world of infinite choice, but no direction. They're paralyzed, not by failure, but by the fear of missing out on a better path. And it's not just personal. A society adrift breeds division, apathy, extremism. When nothing matters, people cling to anything. Tribalism, outrage, escapism, just to feel something. Sound familiar? It's the world you're living in, and it's unraveling. You're standing at the edge now, staring into the cost of this void. It's not just a feeling, it's a force rewiring your brain, fracturing your connections, stealing your future. But here's the thing, you're not powerless. This trap has a way out, a path to break free. It starts with seeing the game for what it is, and refusing to play. The question is, are you ready to step off the treadmill? To face the void and reclaim what's yours? The answer lies just ahead, and it's not what you've been taught to expect. You're standing in the wreckage of a world that promised everything and left you with nothing. That ache, that void. It's not your fault, but it's yours to confront. You've seen how society's machine grinds meaning into dust, how it hijacks your mind, your connections, your future. But here's the radical truth. You can break free. Not by running faster, not by buying more, not by escaping into distraction, but by turning toward the void itself. This isn't about fixing yourself. It is about dismantling the lies you've been fed and building something real. Let's walk through how to do it and why it feels like a revolution. First, shift your perspective. The world tells you to fill the emptiness with more stuff, more status, more noise. But what if the emptiness isn't a flaw? What if it's a signal, a call to strip away the illusions? Philosopher Søren Kierkegaard saw despair as a gateway, a moment where you face the infinite within you. Stop running from it. Sit with it. Ask, what do I truly want? Not what society wants, not what the algorithm rewards, but what sets your soul on fire. This question is your compass. It's counterintuitive because the world screams for answers, but the act of questioning deeply, honestly, is where freedom begins, and it's yours alone. Now, reclaim your attention. Your mind is a battlefield, hijacked by a culture that profits from your distraction. Neuroscientists say attention is the foundation of consciousness. Lose it, and you lose yourself. So, fight back. Carve out silence. Not the fake silence of scrolling or binge-watching, but real stillness. Meditate, walk, stare at the sky. Historical rebels like Henry David Thoreau did this, retreating to Walden to find clarity and simplicity. You don't need a cabin, just 10 minutes a day, phone off, world muted. In that space, you'll hear your own voice again, and it's stronger than you think. Next, reject the script. Society hands you a role: achieve, consume, perform. But you're not a cog, you're a creator. Existentialist Albert Camus urged us to embrace the absurd, to find meaning in defiance of a meaningless world. How? By crafting your own purpose. It doesn't have to be grand. A painter finds it in a single stroke, a parent in a child's laugh. Start small. Write a letter, plant a seed, help a stranger. These acts, unglamorous and uninstagrammable, anchor you to something real. They remind you that meaning isn't found, it's made. And every choice you make outside the script is a rebellion, a step toward freedom. Connection is your next weapon. The world isolates you, but you're built for tribe. Psychologist Abraham Maslow placed belonging at the core of human needs, yet modern life starves you of it. So, rebuild it. Not through likes or followers, but through presence. Call a friend, not to vent, but to listen. Join a group, not a virtual one, but a real one, where you can see eyes, hear voices. History shows us this power. Early Christians, Renaissance thinkers, even punk rockers, they all found strength in small, defiant communities. Find yours, share your fears, your dreams, and watch the void shrink when you're truly seen. Finally, embrace the unknown. The world sells certainty, plans, goals, guarantees, but life is chaos. Philosopher Alan Watts taught that trying to control it is like grasping water. Let go. Accept that you'll never have all the answers, and that's okay. This isn't resignation, it's courage. It's what drove explorers like Amelia Earhart to chase horizons, not maps. Take a risk, a new hobby, a bold conversation, a leap of faith. Uncertainty is where growth lives, and where you'll find the spark you've been missing. This path isn't easy. Society will pull you back, whispering that you need more, that you're not enough. But you are. You're not a product, not a profile, not a number. You're a force, capable of forging meaning in a world that's forgotten how. The breakthrough is here. Freedom isn't in escaping the void, but in dancing with it, in building something beautiful from its ashes. You're closer to that power than you know. But there's one final truth, one last revelation that ties it all together. And it will change how you see everything. You've walked through the void, felt its weight, seen its machinery. And now you stand at the edge of something new. You've learned to question, to reclaim your attention, to forge meaning in defiance of a hollow world. But there's one final truth, one revelation so profound it redefines everything. The emptiness you feared isn't your enemy, it's your awakening. The ache in your chest, the question that haunts you, they're not signs of failure, but of a deeper hunger, a call to transcend the illusion of modern life. This is the moment where it all clicks. where you see reality for what it is, and yourself for who you can become. Let's unravel this. The world has sold you a lie. That meaning is out there, in achievements, in possessions, in applause. But the void persists because none of these fill it. They can't. Philosopher Martin Heidegger spoke of being, the raw, unfiltered essence of existence. Modern society buries this under layers of distraction, but the emptiness you feel is your soul clawing back toward it. You're not meant to fill the void. You're meant to live in it, to embrace it as the space where you become more than a cog, more than a consumer. This is the paradigm shift. The void is not a curse. It's a canvas. Picture it. Every time you felt lost, every time the world's noise left you hollow, you were brushing against something eternal. Mystics like Rumi knew this. They saw suffering as a doorway to the divine. Science echoes it. Neuroscientists find that moments of awe, of confronting the vast unknown, rewire your brain, expanding your sense of self. That ache isn't weakness. It's your mind stretching, reaching for something bigger than the world's shallow promises. You've been taught to fear it, to drown it in distraction. But what if you leaned in? What if you let it guide you? Here's the deepest revelation. You are the meaning you seek. Not your job, not your status, not your story, but you in your raw, unpolished existence. Existentialist Simone de Beauvoir argued that freedom lies in creating yourself moment by moment without a script. The world's machine wants you to forget this, to chase external validation until you're spent. But you're not a product to be optimized. You're a process, a becoming. Every choice, every doubt, every quiet act of courage. They're not steps toward meaning. They are meaning. You don't find purpose. You are purpose. And that changes everything. Look back at your life. Those moments of clarity. The sunset that stopped you cold. The stranger's kindness that broke you open. The night you cried for no reason. They weren't random. They were glimpses of this truth. Moments when the veil lifted and you saw yourself as enough. Society buries these under obligations, but they're still there, waiting. Poet Mary Oliver asked, "What is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?" The answer isn't a goal. It's a way of being. It's choosing to live awake, to see every moment as a chance to create, to connect, to become. This realization is your power. It is why figures like Nelson Mandela endured decades in prison yet emerged unbroken. They knew their meaning wasn't tea in the world's rewards, but in their defiance, their presence. It's why artists like Frida Kahlo turned pain into beauty, not escape. You have that same strength. The world will keep pulling, offering quick fixes, false gods, but you can say no. You can choose to live in the void, to paint your truth on its vastness. And when you do, the emptiness stops being a threat and becomes a home. Now pause. Feel the air in your lungs, the pulse in your veins. You're here, alive, unfinished. The world will keep spinning, loud and relentless, but you don't have to follow. This channel exists to remind you of that, to pull you back to the questions that matter, to the fire inside you. So ask yourself, what will you create in this moment? What will you let go of? The void is waiting, not to swallow you, but to set you free. Step into it, live, and never look back.